to say. So, thank you for TVET. So every year they're conducting this kind of training for us as a UNEVOC members, and we are very happy and very glad for TVET. And thank you, and hope we will have such kind of workshop and conference for a long year. And so let me introduce a little bit about my NGO, because I think this NGO is the only one UNEVOC members, because most of the UNEVOC members are the institutions and higher education institutions, but for us we are just NGO, and maybe very special unit for UNEVOC members. Yeah. And I will start very briefly about introducing the TVET statistic. As you know, we are the small country. We have only 3.5 million population, but we have the big numbers of TVET institutions, but a little bit decreasing, but still we have the 69 TVET institutions, and state and non-state owned institutions. And type of the institutions are the Polytechnic College and the vocational high schools. So we have the urban and rural areas, the institutions, and there are 4,000 over the staff working in TVET institutions. Regarding the students, we have almost around 40,000 students around each year, and conducting over 200 professions. So, as you know, we have the government and parliament election every 4 years, and maybe some of them the same the period. And last year we had the big change in education sector of Mongolia, because we have government have approved the package law for education, including TVET, primary and secondary, all the education levels. So main directions for this law amendment and revising. So these are almost the same area as you mentioned, as previous presenters mentioned the same. We are trying to change and upgrade the education quality in order to have them global tendency and increase the quality of the education. That is why these are the main areas for the improvement and government strategic areas. The semi-autonomy of the school management, it means that some of the financial autonomy for schools are allowed them to calculate and approve the budget and spend the budget for school by own management. And of course, the curriculum is one of the main criteria for education quality, and the funding will be estimated by them, and efficiency of the investment will be accounted. And school mapping and will be used for changing the structure of the types of school. And as you know, the performance-based initiatives for teachers and staff is one of the main focusing area of the government. Performance-based salary, performance-based evaluation is one of the new initiative of this government in order to upgrade all the quality of the TVET. So these are the main areas for the sector-wide, the education sector-wide, the concepts. Of course, the education for all is one of the biggest important area for us, and professional leaders out of the political influence. As I mentioned before, so every 4 years after the election, every management from government ministries to school level almost changing. And it means that we having losing the most important staff and more experienced teachers and directors because of the political reason. And next one is the recognition of the what learned, but not how learned. Yeah? And we are just aiming to recognize and assess what learned. But it's not important to us how they learn, because we are just accepting different kind of training types, the online and on the job and classes, of course, and this should be recognized as the same way. This is the main concept of the sector-wide. Teachers as professionals with high social status, and because each year the number of the teaching staff is decreasing, and it is very difficult to stay them as experienced one for the at all level of the education, especially in TVET, because we are just inviting and recruiting the experienced and technical staff who has a good knowledge and experience in industrial sector, but still they paid very high at the industry. They don't want to come to TVET, and that is the we are just aiming to increase the status of the teachers and teaching staff as well. And quality evaluation, of course, is the one of the way to increase the whole education system quality. And next one is learners-based funding, not school-based funding. So it means that every learners have to have the sufficient funding for learning, but not only the numbers or not only for the school staffing, but if you have 100, if you have thousands, you have to have that by each student funding. Yeah, and digitalization of education is of course the global tendency. We are just aiming also to align this tendency for our education. And optimized structure of the education organizations means that we are allowing to our schools, institutions, and TVET institutions to have own structure in order to have their own specific development ways. That is why this is one of the main concepts of the sector. From here you can see, so the package law means these 4 areas of the education. We have each have this specific law, but umbrella law is the education law. And means that we have generally 5 laws for education, including, of course, the TVET. For main changes for this new law is the 12-year is compulsory. But for TVET, it was not so acceptable, because after graduating 9th grade, the students could go to TVET. But this is one of the big, maybe this one could be the advantages or no, not, but 12 years is compulsory. And it means that we have to change our structure for TVET because we are not proposing the secondary school content fully, including some skills training and secondary education as well. But now the compulsory education means that we have to integrate the general education and technical education content in same way at the secondary and TVET schools as well. And when I asking about the apprenticeship and dual training about for our colleagues, because we are aiming to introduce to our TVET system apprenticeship and dual system, but we are just struggling to find the technicians or technical staff who can teach or who can care our students at the workplace training or at the during the apprenticeship. But still we need to train them and to make them understood technical and vocational education system and how to teach the students how to cooperate with schools this is the very challenging area for us for this time, because the dual and apprenticeship means that we have to cooperate with industry and with school at the same time. But industry side is still not ready yet to get this kind of idea and to cooperate with us and to teach our students. And also the teaching, research, and industry campus, this is we are just aiming, but as I mentioned, the teaching is still, we are lack of teaching, qualified teaching staff for TVET, and this is our main area to focus in. Most of the concepts are important for us, which is stated in the TVET and education law. It means that we are going to update our strategic planning and also the policy documents based on this education sector legal reform. As you see, we have the long history for our TVET law, and last amendment done last July. And these are our strategic planning based on these all legal documents. So once that every law or regulations are updating or revised, we have to implement them, and it means that we have to change all these legal strategic planning and documents to follow and to implement. And for us, we have the vision, Mongolian Development Policy Vision 5020, which is covering also the TVET component. So these are the 2050 vision is one of the main directions for all Mongolia, especially for TVET, because we have the specific articles for us, and we are just based on these documents, the developing and updating our planning. And only this July we had the new government after the election, and now we are just going on updating all these educational documents and planning. Of course, we have the coherence and the integration of all these previous documents, but still need to update, because every government has some kind of specific topics or specific area to focus in. For example, for this government, we are just, the government is trying to have vocational high school. It means the 12-year compulsory education, integrating with these activities. We need to upgrade the planning and also the all staffing, financing, the everything in TVET. Just the revolution is starting for us, yeah. And these are the main areas for TVET planning. Of course, we are based on all the legal documents, and also we are just trying to integrate the global tendency as some of the UNEVOC strategy and also the other global education and TVET strategy. And we are planning based on all these documents and trying to integrate all these documents. And of course, Mongolian case should be considered, and also the government planning and strategy should be considered. And for the policymakers, sometimes having big challenges to, once the government is changing, parliament is changing, so new priority, new areas of strategic is coming. We are just frequently changing all this kind of planning dimensions and areas. This is one of the examples. So we are just making the planning in education. This is only the one specific one for transforming education. And every year we just planning. And after this planning, every school, every sector, high TVET education, have specific planning for each. And this is the end of my presentation. So this is not my topic because I'm policymaker, so I'm not presenting them, but still I'm just trying to make you understand how we are just planning our TVET. Thank you.
All right.